All right. Good late morning, good early afternoon on the East Coast. It is Thursday, December the 30th, 2021. We are T minus less than 2 days before the new year. So I hope you're all ready for that. I know I'm looking forward to it. So we'll get right into the news here. Here's the headline hits with LW. Um, Cool J cancels New Year's Rockin' Evening performance after testing positive for the sickness. Uh, so he was ready to chill out and do an event in New York for the New Year's Rockin' Eve. He was going to be one of the artists or the artist that was going to perform that night. And I guess he tested positive. So I know it's disappointing to millions of fans, but my test came back positive for the sickness, which means I am no longer able to perform as scheduled in New York. He says we were ready, and I was really looking forward to ringing in 2022 with my hometown in a special way. But for now, I wish everyone a healthy, happy new year, and the best is yet to come. That was from LL Cool J. Okay, moving on. We've got old Pudding Pop. He's always in the news. I can always find something on him. Puddin Pop denies that the antibody treatments as states experience shortages. So, what he's talking about is those antibodies. When you've been sick, you build an immune system to that. You have antibodies there. They can extract that and use it for other patients, for other people. And right now, they're kind of ignoring that. So the president continues ignoring state demands for more of those antibody treatments, as shortages are preventing Americans seeking the treatment for for their issues here with the sickness. It just he seems to just completely be asleep at the wheel. No matter what the situation is, he pretty much checks out. And then as far as his VP, you never see her around either, hardly, rarely. They just this whole administration, in my opinion, is just completely checked the box that says out to lunch. Then that's what we get. So I'm happy for those of you who voted for that guy. Here's something else. So the Biden's pandemic, massive lines for the sickness tests amid shortages. So the president promised to shut down this sickness, right? He promised that in his campaign speeches, and as he was running uh, for the highest office in the country, he kept telling everybody, "If you vote for me, I'll end this." But the shortage of the sickness tests has created massive lines of people at various sites during this Decepticon variant surges around the country. So it's cold season, folks. Are you kidding me? This happens every year. But of course, the people who live in fear, they're worried about all these surges. They want to go get tested. These lines are backed up, bumper to bumper, of people wanting to get tested, and they can't because there's not enough tests to go around. Okay, moving on to I believe it is Florida's representative Matt Gaetz. Um, Nothing more dangerous than weaponization of the DOJ against people who go to school board meetings. So Representative Matt, he's a Republican from Florida. He sets on the um, he sits on the committee, the Justice Department committee, and he is not okay with them weaponizing the DOJ to go after parents who go to school board meetings. It is a little bit of a concern of mine. I worry about that as well. So he says, I'm on the judiciary committee. I think nothing is more dangerous right now than the weaponization of the Justice Department against people who show up at the school board meetings, because that paves the way for such a broad targeting, the likes of which we've never seen before. So we've talked about this a few times. Parents showing up, school board meetings. Now I realize some of them get super emotional. They get a little heated under the collar, hot under the collar. Their emotions run wild, and then they kind of get aggressive. I don't condone that. I think you need to show up. You need to have your voice be heard, but you also need to contain yourself and control your emotions. I believe Republicans are going to retake the majority. I want to make sure we're worthy of it and that we have a plan and a strategy. So I would convert every committee into the Congress to the oversight committee. I think every committee has an investigation they should be running, he says. So that is Representative from Florida, Matt Gaetz, however you pronounce his last name. And then I found this morning. I found this interesting. So there's a poll out, lots of polls, poll. But this poll is for Americans who say that they are worse off financially than they were a year ago. There's lots of polls out there, to be honest with you. So Americans say their financial situation has worsened over the last year in President Biden's America. A few have hopes that it will significantly improve in the new year, but not a lot of them. They're saying 48% said that they are worse off, followed by 28% who say that they are about the same, and 20% say that they are better. So I'd like to know who this 20% is. I really would. Um, it's just staggering that we are in the situation that we are in, and we got to deal with it at this point. So here we go. Uh, Old Puddin Pop again. Never been weaker on U.S. trade deficit mushroomed to a record in November. So how does this affect us? Well, it affects our trade. It affects those businesses out there who are trying to ship their products overseas. The U.S. trade deficit, wherein the cost of imported goods exceeds the value of exported goods. Okay. So the cost of imports, what you're bringing in, it's like your bills, right? You're receiving all these bills, but your job is not producing enough income to pay for those bills. So this is imports coming in. The cost of those are exceeding the value of our exports going out. So the mushroom to a record in November and will likely continue for the duration of the sickness pandemic. Now, there's a bunch of percentages here and $97 billion there and this, that, and the other. I'm not going to go into all those numbers because I don't know of a whole lot of you would actually understand what we're talking about. But it's just, it's more disaster in this economy that is under the umbrella of the Biden administration. That's the point that I want to make. When we were under the previous administration, we were breaking records, we were thriving, things were going out very well. Our trade with other countries seemed to be a little bit more of a level playing field for us. Trump made sure of that. He fought hard for that. And this administration, again, has checked the box. It says out to lunch. They don't care. They do not care. All right, moving on to our favorite here, old flip-flop lying his ass off Fauci. Officials keep an open mind to domestic vacation requirements. Now, we reported on this just the other day. We talked about domestic flights. I just want to touch on it again because it's back in the news. So he is saying yet again, his office is maintaining an open mind when it comes to the prospects of implementing a domestic vacation requirement. And he goes further to say that it's not happening at this particular time, but big but when you make a vacation a requirement, that's another incentive to get more people vacationed. And I said this the other day. It's just more of them pushing this agenda. and we've got to fight back. Arkansas just became another state yesterday that said they will not comply and they do not consent to the mandates that they are putting on us, including this one right here. If you want to do that with the domestic flights, I think that's something that seriously that we should consider. End quote from Mr. Flip Flop line his ass off Falsey. So this GOP representative Murphy has a different thought of this. And I found this very interesting. And I think this is the kind of stuff that needs to get out there. So Falsey's vacation only approach has cost lives. Let me repeat that. Falsey's vacation only approach has cost lives. So he's on Fox News, and he's talking about the White House chief medical advisor, Mr. Flip Flop line his ass off Falsey, has taken a one dimensional approach to fighting the sickness. And he agrees with Senator Rand Paul, the Republican from Kentucky, that this outlook has cost lives. He goes further to say that he agrees with Paul 100%. We put all our efforts into the vacations, which is great, but there are some people that can't take them. And that he also goes further to say that we should have been looking at other things that we could have been fighting this with instead of just focusing solely on the vacations, which we could get into that like we did yesterday on our podcast with John E. The therapeutics that are out there, all kinds of preventative measures that we could have took. On top of that, if you did get sick, there were other things that you could have done besides just jabbing that thing in your arm. So people are putting it out there, and I'm seeing it. So I just wanted to let you guys know. All right, back to old Puddin Pop, and this is Lindsey Graham, senator from South Carolina. He's a Republican. Everybody knows who Lindsey Graham is. A lot of people really dislike Lindsey Graham. I really think that his career as a career politician is coming to a close at a rapid speeds here. I think he's about seeing the end of his reign over South Carolina. We all know that he piggybacked on the back of Mr. T and he got reelected. And then he kind of did a smoke and mirror, looked like he was supporting T in the efforts after November, and then kind of turned his back on him and just made sure that he was taken care of, like Turtle Man. So Senator Lindsey Graham says that the 2024 presidential election is former President Donald Trump's to lose, should he seek the White House again. During the appearance on Sean Hannity, he explained how the GOP remembered that Trump's presidency fondly. They remembered it fondly, declaring him the most successful president for the policy point of view since former President Ronald Reagan. He also says, yes, it was if he wants it, unless there is something coming out of left field, it's his nomination if he wants it. The Republican base accepted him. They don't appreciate all the things that he does sometimes. Oh, those bad tweets, those naughty tweets, those mean tweets. They don't like it. But for the policy point of view, he was the most successful president since Ronald Reagan. It's his nomination if he wants it, and if he will be in the White House in 2024 if he runs a disciplined campaign. So there you have it. There's some support for T if he chooses that he's going to run in 2024. I know how y'all feel. I know some of you don't think it's going to get to that point. I know lots of you think that he's coming back before that. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there for you guys. You take it for what it's worth. So I'm going to end this headline hits with this. The Doomsday Glacier is coming for us all. I put that in the headline this morning. I'm sure some of you caught it, but I wanted to put this out there. Climate alertist, Doomsday Glacier coming to us all. And so they go on to say that this massive glacier in Antarctica could fall apart overnight. So I was reading that and I'm like, overnight, are we going to have some kind of tsunami or what's going to happen? Is this going to happen, before New Year's, or is this going to be the New Year's doomsday? It says that it can raise sea levels by 10 feet, declares the article from Rolling Stone magazine. Raise sea levels by 10 feet. Man, for those of you who have homes on the beach in Florida and South Carolina and other places here in America, you might want to buy flood insurance. Just saying. Or tsunami insurance. At least that's what these guys are claiming. So the essay was written by Jeff Goodall, titled "The Fuse Has Been Blown." And he claims that this doomsday glacier is coming for us all. States that cracks fractions in the ice shelf suggest that the Florida-size ice mass has fractured like the windshield of a car window and has as little as 5 years. So they're claiming that within 5 years, this glacier, the size of Florida, is going to break off in the Antarctic, and it's going to hit the ocean. And I guess it's going to cause the sea levels to rise around 10 feet. The West Antarctic ice sheet is one of the most important tipping points in Earth's climate system. And he goes in to say it opens the door for the rest of the West Antarctic ice sheet to slide into the sea as well. If there is going to be a big climate crisis, it's probably going to start on this glacier. And what he's warning is it doesn't matter what we do, we're doomed. So he says it does not matter if we could turn carbon emissions off tomorrow. It's already too late. It's a done deal. This thing's happening. He says the ice is melting at such a rapid pace underneath of it that it is destined to slide off into the ocean, and we are all doomed. So, for some of you who maybe have those houses on the beach, maybe you might want to start thinking about moving to Montana, head to higher ground, because he says this is inevitable. It's going to happen. Nothing that we can do about it. So it's our fault because of all these emissions that we've been putting into the air for hundreds of years. And so that is the headline hits for today. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Love y'all. Have a great day. We will see you tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time for Ladies' Night.